They said the old Blackwood Manor at the edge of Hollow Creek was abandoned for a reason. But you're about to see why no one in this town dares set foot inside after dark. If you think you're brave, think again, because what awaits in the shadows isn't just dust and cobwebs. It's something alive, patient, and hungry. On Halloween night, a group of college friends dared each other to spend the night inside, cameras rolling, thinking it would make for a viral story. The moment they crossed the rusted iron gates, the air changed. It grew heavy, metallic, like the house was breathing, waiting. Inside, the walls were peeling with age, and the faint smell of decay and something sweeter, almost like burnt sugar, lingered in the hallways. The floorboards groaned under their weight, whispering warnings in a language they didn't know. In the library, they found stacks of leather-bound journals, their pages yellowed but filled with detailed drawings of grotesque creatures with elongated limbs and eyes that seemed too human. One of them, Sarah, touched a drawing, and the eyes seemed to blink, shifting slightly, as though alive. A cold wind blew through the room, extinguishing their flashlights, leaving them in darkness so thick it pressed against their skin. Panicked, they tried to find the staircase, but the house had already changed. The hallways twisted impossibly, rooms shifted, and doors led to places that weren't there a minute ago. From the attic, a faint lullaby played, slow and warped, sung by a voice that was half child, half monster. The group split, and one by one, the walls seemed to watch them, breathing with a life of their own. Mark screamed when he saw a mirror reflecting not his face, but a shadowed version of himself, smiling back with teeth he didn't have. In the kitchen, the oven door slammed shut on its own, and inside lay something small and writhing, whispering names, calling each of them closer. Time became meaningless. Every clock ticked backward, and their phones showed static, with fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures watching from the corners of rooms that shouldn't exist. Panic turned to terror when they realized one of them, Alex, had disappeared. But they heard him calling from beneath the floorboards, screaming in a voice that was theirs, but distorted, echoing with 1,000 screams. The house seemed to feed on their fear, and the more they panicked, the closer it came, walls stretching like living skin. In a hallway lined with portraits, the eyes of the painted family followed them, shifting subtly, mouths twitching as if murmuring secrets too horrible to understand. Finally, they stumbled into the grand hall, where a massive chandelier hung like a web above a cracked marble floor. There, the source revealed itself, a dark, amorphous shape, both smoke and flesh, pulsing, with hundreds of small faces pressed into its surface, each screaming silently. It whispered promises of immortality in voices that were eerily familiar, echoing the voices of lost loved ones, daring them to come closer. One by one, it claimed them, dragging them into the shadows, where their bodies twisted and melted into the entity, leaving behind only hollow screams that echoed through the halls. In a final act of desperation, Sarah found a journal describing a ritual to survive. A circle of salt, a single candle, and the willingness to confront the deepest fear. She drew the circle, lit the candle, and faced the darkness, heart hammering, realizing too late that fear itself was the key to the house's power. As she trembled, The walls closed in, the shadows stretched, and the whispering voices told her she could never leave. When the townsfolk investigated the next day, the manor was silent, doors locked from the inside, windows boarded. Cameras found outside showed only static, except for one frame, barely visible. A pale, wide-eyed figure staring out of a window, silently screaming, trapped forever in Blackwood Manor. And somewhere, deep within, the house waits, hungry, patient, counting down to the next Halloween when curiosity will tempt another group, foolish enough to see if the stories were true.